Shalom Havarim, James Trim here, and today I want to talk to you about what it means to be grafted in. Now this is the second time I'm making this video because I posted a video on this topic a couple of days ago, and everybody complained that the sound level was terrible and that they couldn't hear it. And I didn't check the sound level before I posted it, unfortunately, and I had unfortunately absent-mindedly left the microphone over on the other side of the table instead of putting it in front of me, so the sound level was almost not even there. So I am remaking the video, and you should be able to hear it well this time. So we will be talking about what it means to be grafted in. Before we get started, I want to thank all of those who have donated in the past to make these videos possible, and all of the research and the other work that goes on in making these videos possible, and also helping myself and my wife. For those that don't know, my wife is chronically ill. She's disabled and she suffers chronic pain, and I'm her caretaker. So you're also helping us out with my ability to stay home as her caretaker, and you're helping make all of this work possible, and the blogs that we publish online and all the other materials, the work that we're doing on Hebrew and Aramaic New Testament work and so on. So please donate to support this work. We need your help, and we especially need your help today because we are in a $300 shortfall, and on top of that, the rent is due in about a week. So if you can possibly donate, please donate today. You can donate by sending donations by PayPal to donations at wnae.org, or by clicking on the donate link in the video description. Now from that link, you can donate by PayPal, by Zelle, or by GoFundMe. So just click on the link in the video description and donate. We also want to ask you all to please like these videos, to subscribe to this channel, and click the notification bell so you'll get notified when new videos come out. Let us know what you think of our video in the comments, and participate in the discussions in the comments. Those are all things that the YouTube algorithm looks at to decide which videos to recommend to new viewers, and we want to get recommended to new viewers. Also share our videos on social media, on Facebook and relevant Facebook groups, on your Facebook page, on X, formerly known as Twitter, and any other social media that you participate in. Email them to your friends, etc. So help us get the message out and increase the audience of these videos. That will also help a lot. All right, so now we're going to get going on our topic today, which is tied to Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. We read in these verses, verse 1, "Now Yahweh said unto Avram, Get you out of your country and from your kindred and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless you," verse 3, "I will bless them that bless you, and curse him that curse you, and in you shall all of the families of the earth be blessed." Now I want you to remember that especially key phrase here, and in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. We're going to be talking about that phrase in this video. Paul quotes that phrase in Galatians, and it's going to this understanding that we're going to derive from the original Hebrew of Genesis 12, 1 through 3 is going to help us better understand Paul's writings, particularly Galatians and Romans. So in Galatians chapter 3, verses 6 through 9, Paul writes, "Even as Abraham believed of Elohim, and it was counted to him for righteousness," referring to Genesis chapter 15, verse 6. Verse 7, Know you therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham. Verse 8, and the scripture foreseeing that Elohim would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the good news unto Abraham, saying, and there's our phrase, and you shall all the nations be blessed. Genesis 12:3. So then they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham. Now, if we want to understand this passage of Galatians and what Paul is really saying, it's going to be helpful to understand what the phrase, in you shall all the nations be blessed, in Genesis 12:3 really means from a Jewish perspective in the Hebrew. So let us look at this phrase through the commentator, the great Torah commentator Rashbam. Now, Rashbam was the grandson of Rashi, and he wrote a commentary that was a more of a Peshat commentary than Rashi. He went to his grandfather Rashi and he said, why didn't you write a Peshat commentary? What's Peshat? Peshat is the literal meaning of a passage. There are 4 levels of understanding of a passage in Judaism: the Peshat, which is the literal; the Remez, which is the implied; the Drash, which is the homiletical or allegorical; and the Sod, which is the secret, mystical, or homiletical. Okay? The 4 letters together spell Pardes, which is the Hebrew word for paradise. Okay, so Rashbam went to his grandfather Rashi and he says, why didn't Rashi, famous Torah commentator, wrote a famous, probably the most famous Jewish Torah commentary, and he said, why didn't you write a Peshat commentary? Why is your commentary so midrashic? And so, and those that know Rashi, they realize, were aware that Rashi's commentary frequently reverse engineers the Talmud. So however the Talmud uses or interprets a passage from the Tanakh, he reverse engineers that back into his commentary. He was a 12th century commentator. So Rashbam went and wrote his own commentary. And his own commentary was giving the Peshat understanding, a very literal understanding of Torah. And when he came to this passage, which we translate in our English versions commonly, in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. This is what Rashbam wrote. He said, rather shall graft themselves onto you. That is, they intermix with your family. Note that this form is Niphael, not the Pual, which is the passive of the PL, bless. So these are different verb forms in Hebrew: Niphael, Pual, and PL. Okay? And so what Rashbam is saying is, in this form, this Niphael form, the verb in question does not mean to be blessed. It means to graft oneself, to graft yourself into. Okay? So, this is Rashi's interpretation. Another great Torah commentator, even Ezra, writes in his commentary on this phrase, a great scholar said in his book that this, quote, blessing, close quote, has something to do with grafting plants. He is, of course, referring to Rashbam's commentary. So now I want to look at a passage of Talmud that references this fact, if you will, references Genesis chapter 12:3, and it does so in the Hifel form, which is yet another form of the verb, and it is in Babylonian Talmud, Yevamot 63a. We read, Rabbi Eliezer further stated what is meant by the next, and in you shall all the text, what is meant by the text, and in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Genesis 12:3. The Holy One, blessed be he, said to Avraham, I have two godly shoots to graft. And the word graft is this form of the verb that we're discussing. I have two goodly shoots to graft onto you. Ruth, the Moabitess, and Naamah, the Ammonitess. All the families of the earth, even the other families who live on the earth, are blessed only for Israel's sake. All the nations of the earth, even the ships that go from Gaul to Spain, are blessed only for Israel's sake. Okay, so here is yet another testimony to the fact that from a Jewish perspective, this passage in Genesis chapter 12, verse 3, should not be read, in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed, but rather should be read, in you shall all the families of the earth graft themselves onto you. Okay? That's how it should be understood. That, of course, radically changes not only the meaning of this passage, but then the meaning of Galatians chapter 3, verses 6 through 9. So let's go back and reread that with the thought in mind that the passage doesn't mean, and in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. The Hebrew could literally be read to mean that in you, all the families of the earth shall be grafted into you, or shall graft themselves into you. Okay? So, we read, and as Avraham believed Elohim, this is Galatians 3, 6 through 9, and as Avraham believed Elohim, and it was counted to him for righteousness, know you therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Avraham. And the scripture, foreseeing that Elohim would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the good news unto Avraham, saying, in you shall all the nations be blessed. But what it really means is that all the nations shall graft themselves into you. So then, they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Avraham. Now, this idea of grafting in is actually used in Judaism and in the Jewish literature to refer to a proselyte to Judaism as grafted in to Israel. In fact, it's used that way in the Zohar. In volume 1, page 26, the Zohar also uses the imagery of being grafted in. It says, for this reason, proselytes will no longer be admitted in the days of the Messiah, that is, in the Messianic kingdom. The Shekinah will be like a vine on which there cannot be grafted any shoot from another species. And Israel shall be every tree pleasant to see, and their former beauty shall be restored to them, of which we are told, he has cast from heaven to earth the beauty of Israel. Lamentations 2:1. So, this is in the Zohar, volume 1, page 26. The term, this idea of being grafted in, is a term that's used for a Gentile becoming a proselyte Jew. And this is because the actual Hebrew of Genesis chapter 12, 1 through 3 can be understood as referring to all the Gentiles or the nations, Goyim in Hebrew, being grafted in to Israel. So now we can better understand that Galatians chapter 3, verses 6 through 9, is talking about Gentiles becoming proselyte Jews. Now, this may come as a complete surprise to many, that in Galatians 3, 6 through 9, in the book of Galatians in general, that Paul is talking about Gentiles becoming converts to Judaism. And of course, it also helps us better understand Romans chapter 11, verses 16 through 27 in the famous parable of the olive tree. Now, there's so much I can say about the parable of the olive tree in Romans chapter 11, and we are going to do more videos on other aspects of this very important parable. But today, we're just going to be understanding that Paul derives the idea of being grafted in to the olive tree in Romans chapter 11 from the Torah, from Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 3 in the Hebrew, where it is also talking about Gentiles being grafted in to Israel. Okay, so now you should hopefully have a better understanding of Romans chapter 11 and of Galatians chapter 3 and the overall book of Galatians and the overall book of Romans that are talking about, when Romans 11 is talking about Gentiles being grafted in, it's talking about Gentiles becoming proselyte Jews and becoming part of Israel. Okay? So I hope this helps you better understand Paul and better understand the Torah, better understand better understand Genesis chapter 12 verses 1 through 3, better help you understand Galatians chapter 3 and Romans chapter 11. All right. I want to thank you again, those who have helped us out with your donations. Please donate again today if you possibly can. Hit the donations link in the video description. Also, let us know what you think in the description of the video. And participate in the discussions in the video. Like our video, subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and share this on social media. Until next time, everybody, shalom.